This is another exciting Waypoint talk. We started Waypoint, co-produced by United Gamers and Sanctor Capital, as a place to talk about all things gaming in Web3. I'm excited for this next talk on MOBAs in Web3, and really excited to welcome our guests, and really grateful for all the listeners who are here. My name is Ilya Abagov. I'm co-founder and partner at Sanctor Capital. So pardon me, but I have to get through the official disclosures. Everything that follows is um, not financial or legal advice. All opinions are my own, and throughout the talk, there may be games and or assets in which I myself or Sanctor Capital could hold positions or maybe intending to hold positions. For full disclosure, Sanctor Capital is backing United Gamers. And I think that takes care of all the official things. So without further ado, I want to start introducing our awesome speakers. And yeah, I'll just call on you, and it'd be great if you can kind of just say your name and a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get into the talk. First on my screen is actually Philip. So Philip, yeah, if you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey guys, I'm Philip Sebastian, mostly known for my Web2 background. I created a marketing and talents agency dedicated for Web2 games. Back in the Philippines on this side, it has around 300 million followers and 300 talents on this end. Was able to be part of a lot of MOBA games inside Web2 for both Mobile Legends, League of Legends Wild Rift, and different other MOBA titles. I was also a former Green employee. Now I'm with United Gamers. On the side, we are mainly focused to create esports infrastructure that would be paramount for sustainable economy, for sustainability for Web3 economies on this one.
Awesome, thank you. Another thing of note, we are recording this session, and it will later be posted. I think we normally post on YouTube, but we'll share the link, and there will be a recording available afterwards. Kazu, you're up next on my screen. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Senpai Kazu. I'm well known in the Philippines as an interviewer on the side of entertainment, and also I'm a consultant with social media analytics with other companies, big companies here in the Philippines. So most likely, I'm on more on the side of giving basis of algorithms when it comes with Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube.
Thank you. Keisaya.
Hello. Thank you, Ilya. First of all, huge shout outs to RJ Jacinto for inviting me in this one. Thank you very much. So, yeah, hello everyone who's currently listening here on Twitter Spaces. I'm Guy Saya. I'm a former game developer for 7 years, working as a programmer and game producer before in Game Loft Philippines. I also worked in Anino Games, where Gabby Dizon, the founder of YGG, was actually a mentor of mine. But for the past 5 years, I've been most active in esports as a shoutcaster. I explored a lot of things in esports, from streaming, doing online tournaments organization, maybe even even having my own esports team casually, just casually. And but since last year, I dove into the NFT and crypto space, having discovered Axie Infinity, but surprisingly enough, though, my very first NFT or crypto, hello to Hani, it's Titan Arena. So yeah.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much. Yaz, would you introduce yourself next?
Hey, what's up? Well, first of all, great panel you got here. Thanks a lot for having me on. I really appreciate it. Um, so my name is Yas. I'm the CMO at a game called Galaxy Fight Club. I'm not sure if some of the listeners or even some of the speakers might be familiar with it, but we're one of the few games in the Web3 space that got approved on the Apple App Store as well as the Google Play Store. We're backed by venture capitals like Animoca Brands, Sequoia, Churning Group, and many more. Yeah, we are essentially, I guess, to some degree, a MOBA game. So I'm excited to have this discussion, and I love the panel already, and can't wait for what's about to come.
Thank you so much. Hanny?
Okay. Hi everyone. My pleasure to be here. My name is Henny. I'm from Theatre Arena, and I'm currently in charge of business development for Theatre Arena. I've been always very like a big fan of like gaming and esport, and my mission when I joining Theatre Arena is like to bring Theatre Arena as a ways for to reach like mass adoptions, and then bringing that mission to converting and bring the world of Web3 experience to the Web2 users via casual games. So I'm very excited to have a chance to speak with all of you guys here.
Thank you so much. Carlo, would you like to go next?
Hi, actually, it's Charlo. My name's Charlo Barbosa. I'm the founder of Good Gamer Entertainment. We're a publicly traded company trading on the Toronto Venture Exchange and the US OTC QB Exchange. We're the game developers for a game coming out called Chosen Ones. In the past, I founded nativeads.com. I still am the COO there. We're like one of the largest native ad agencies in North America. And, a long time ago, back in the .com days, I founded poker.com. I took that company public. It was one of the first online gambling companies ever to go take real money bets on the internet. And I'm also the one of the largest shareholders in took another company public last year called Mobile Technologies. It's a crypto on and off ramp company.
Thank you, and I apologize for butchering your name. And I apologize to anybody in advance. I may have these issues with pronouncing names. But thank you so much for introducing yourself. Ajax, you're up next.
All right, thank you, Iya. So my name is Ajax, representing League of Ancients. We are one of the fastest growing mobile NFT game in the BNB chain. We launched about the ideation phase was about 6 months ago. As of today, we have about close to 500,000 followers combined in across social media. We have raised around 16 to 17 million USD in terms of pre-sales into tokens and as well as NFTs. Right, I'm representing the project in the capacity of investors relation and strategic partnerships manager. Right, so nice to meet all you speakers. Right, back to you, Iya.
Thank you so much. I like to start these Waypoint talks with a simple and easy question. How did you get into Web3 gaming, and how did you get into MOBA specifically? Anybody can go in any order. Feel free to just kind of jump in and share your story.
Yeah. Let's go because I touched upon this already a little bit on my intro when I mentioned about Axie Infinity and Theater Arena. So I guess that will be my answer for that question. So when the hype came in for Axie Infinity in the Philippines, I got into it, tried to discover what it is all about, try to explore the gameplay. But apparently, personally, it's just I'm no longer into card games. So I since I'm a shoutcaster mostly for MOBA games like titles such as Mobile Legends or Valor, League of Legends Wild Rift, and Marvel Super War, I lean more towards to MOBA games. That's why when I discovered Thetan Arena, no bias there, Fanny. So I got into it and discovered it, and I'm currently following a lot of other MOBA games at the moment, really trying out to seeing what they can offer, and in my personal community as well. That's what we currently love. So we're trying to check out other MOBA titles at the moment. But yeah, but that's the answer. Basically started from Axie and then Thedan.
Hi, I'm Senpai. I started doing Mobile Legends way back 2019 with Aether Team. If you know ako si Doggy, the known well Mobile Legend gamer here in the Philippines, and I'm a part of them before. And right now, I'm just new with the Axie, and I'm with the UGG or DAO, or United Gamers DAO. I'm with them actually, so I'm just like really starting right now to know about blockchains and crypto. So I'm really new here. So yeah.
All right, gotcha. So, yeah, I think on my side, mostly got into like blockchain gaming mainly because I saw a lot of the streamers and content creators that we have over on our talents agency and the different shift of the community towards blockchain games. I first saw Axie Infinity on this side, but it wasn't really my first type of game on that end. I wanted to try and see other games and explore other games first. I actually first tried Splinterlands on this end, but once like the popularity of Axie became really high on that side, so I started learning the game too on that end, and I really see like gaming to be going towards going towards blockchain gaming on this end. Right now there are like different MOBA titles here, and having worked with Mobile Legends and League of Legends Wild Rift, MOBA is one of the biggest game titles that has been dominating the space for several years already, and this is the most competitive space that you can see. This is the most esports ready space, and the what when a game that is able to dominate on an esports perspective will be able to retain a huge amount of users and will be able to carry on for years and years sustainably because they have a good player base that would be following. Having tournament supports like MOBA on this side is usually like already hand in hand on this end. That's like one of the I think, for my opinion, one of the major reasons why Mobile Legends was able to uh, uh, be one of the winners on the MOBA perspective compared to like an AOV or all of the other MOBA titles out there. So yeah, I think that's mostly it.
As for myself, I've been a long time Dota player. I think ever since almost 10 years ago. I have a combine of 8,000 hours on my Steam profile. So one can say that I'm a hardcore Dota purist. And then I think as same as most of the other speakers here, I started off from Axie when it took off. It really piqued my interest. I went in and studied tokenomics a little bit and found out that hey, that this could be the next potential big thing, right? However, right, the one thing that our team realized was that the real money here is actually in the MOBA genre, which is the title of today's topic, right? MOBA, we all know that is probably the biggest genre among all the other games. In terms of League of Legends, Dota 2, Mobile Legends, right? These are the big games and they have the deepest market penetration. And that is why we chose this genre to develop our project around. Yep, that's about it. Right, back to you, Leah.
Yeah, well, I want to just chat. Like, so I saw, the obviously how Axie Infinity just blew up in the Philippines. I also saw how big Mobile Legends was in the Philippines, so if you combine something like that with maybe a better game, I think there would be a big impact. And then like what Philip said is like the esports component has to be there. I feel that if you can come out with a game that has that esports component where people can compete against each other but still earn, I think that'll be like the next wave in MOBA. I think the key thing is obviously to figure out the right tokenomics because most of the MOBA games that I've seen out there don't have the tokenomics to sustain for a really long time. So I think that the winners in the game are in this space are going to be the ones that have, a really a half decent game, but like long lasting tokenomics. So, we want to come out with a game that, tries to, you know, reward everybody because I think that the games out there right now, some of them are pretty good, but um, I think too many people are just dumping their tokens. But one of the things that intrigued me was trying to figure out the right tokenomics to make a game work, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I might give it a slightly, I guess, different take than most of the other speakers because I guess that the way I kind of got into everything was more from like a founder's perspective. And back in August of last year, we um, we were just analyzing. Well, it was more like mid June, but we minted in August. But my point is, we were trying to like figure out where the whole Web3 space is headed to, how things are developing, and we just saw a bunch of projects launching and minting out that didn't really have much utility to them. So the way we thought about it was, because we have such an extensive background in gaming, um, both on the development side as well as on the consulting side and stuff like that. We knew that we wanted to do something in the gaming industry, but also combine it with like the Web3 space. And because of the lack of utility in the space, we actually thought, I know this is super ambitious, but we wanted to, or we set our mission to become like the Super Smash Bros of the NFT space. And I think over the last year or so, we kind of managed to get to that point where we can say that we more or less achieved that mission. So the the way I think that describes um, GFC the best is, you can just take your favorite NFT and play it inside of the game. So if we think about Thetan Arena, and I know we have a representative from Thetan here on the stage as well, so I'm very keen on where this conversation is going to go. But if you take them as an example, it's like built more like from the top down. You had the game structure and everything, and then you saw the NFT implementation. But we wanted to go like from the ground up, take the cross IP aspect, allow cyberkongs and bored apes and cool cats to take their own NFTs and have them as playable characters inside of that MOBA experience. And that's kind of the vision and the mission and the goal that we set for ourselves, and that's kind of how everything got started for us.
Hey, yeah, I guess it's my turn now. Theater Arena is here. So yeah, hi Kaseya and Phillips. You guys are like best partners of us, and we very lucky to have you guys like onboarding with us from the beginning up until now, and many like exciting things coming up for all of us here. Yeah, just a little bit background of my how I got into the Web3 gaming. It's a little bit different. It's like I actually like previously joining previously from like joining Theater Arena, I was actually at a crypto VC's firm. So Theater Arena is actually one of the projects that I have a chance to take a look back in the days when I was like doing like a investment analyst, and then when I like have a chance to go through with the projects at that time, and then speaking with the founders and the team and seeing their passions, where they are a team, a very dedicated team, which is now my team, but they don't have much like experience and knowledge with the Web3 and the crypto and the business side. So I decided I'm gonna like onboarding with them to help them with that part. So that is a little bit of my background. I haven't played a lot of mobile games before. I was actually a big fan of puzzle games, but since I joined Theater Arena, I play a lot of Theater Arena. It's pretty addictive. Though, yeah, it's we call it like mid casual because it's MOBA, but it's for everyone, as long as like you like can engage with the battles and then with your teammates, then it's like a good like break time. And I know like we haven't go deep dive into like specific questions about like tokenomics and then game economy. Just want to sharing a little bit like it's like back in the days when the former team know about Web3 games, and all of us know about like Axie Infinity. It's like in um, I would say it would be like in July last year. It's like a big booming, and then originally we already a game studio since like 2014, and then we got like picked from like Google Launcher, and then we have a very successful like games have been launched before. So it's like we see blockchain as a way to like kind of like grow hacking in terms of many other metrics like users, revenues, etc. And then like so when Theater Arena launched, I would say we have a lot of like competitive, and I would say like luck and then good timing would be one of the key factor back in the days. It was like so fresh and so new, and then it's very challenging to find the right partners, or like finding the right people, or like the right mind to even like crafting a like the exact like good like tokenomics or like game economy like right at the beginning. There wasn't even like enough of case study to learn about. All we know at that time is like Axie Infinity. So it's like we kind of experiment it, and then honestly I have shared it before, like the first month I was there, my KPI was to like reach like a million users within a month, and then you guys wouldn't believe it, like we launch and then we have like 5 million players within a week, and it's just like way out of our expectation. And then our team just grow from like 12 people to like 80 people up to now. It's like make up of like 2 floor of a building. So yeah, like we know it's not an optimal economy at all, and we are optimizing it right now. It's very challenging, like we know it's not right, but because it's been running already, so it takes time to like correcting it, but hopefully like we can make it, and all of the GameFi economy is gonna like have like being find a way to like optimize and bring this all of like this GameFi become like sustainable, and that's all we want to do too, like sustainable like GameFi economy. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. Um, I throughout these answers, one thing that I heard was esports, right? And it feels like MOBA kind of lends itself almost to esports. And I'm curious how everybody sees kind of Web3 and MOBAs in this context. You know, is that the path forward?
Mhm. Um, yeah, I think how I see the transition to Web3 for MOBA, I see it's going to be a challenge for new players developing MOBA games powered by blockchain. You know, only that there are already a lot of bigger competitors out there like Dota 2, League of Legends for PC, and for mobile, let's say Mobile Legends or, Valor, Wild Rift as well, that are all very active in esports. But they themselves in Web2 have a very tight competition as well, like in penetrating the target market that they want. So we're in as much as possible here in Web3. We want to make sure, or at least the question is, how will this Web3 games be able to target the mainstream gamers as well, or the traditional video gamers? Because let's admit it, not everyone is like open. They have their minds open to getting into Web3 or NFT or crypto. So there's still a lot of negativities out there, especially those who don't believe in the space, maybe because the presence of those rug pull projects before. And now the question is, how will the current and upcoming Web3 MOBA projects prove themselves that they're not going to be like that? Instead, they will be able to target the mainstream gamers. And, you know, if you come to think of it, most of the players get into a game because they find it fun, they find it challenging for their skills, or they see the game having really amazing graphics in combination. So um maybe we try, will the developers in Web3 MOBA be able to capture the hearts of Web2 gamers, even if you take out the earning aspect? So I think that's the question, like they have to ask. So it's really gonna be a challenge. But I myself, being here in Web3 right now, I'm just so excited to see how these developers will approach this space for all of the gamers who love the MOBA genre. So yeah, in short, I'd say it's going to be a challenge, but I'm happy to like see it within the bubble.
I think the the good part, or let's say the solution for transitioning from Web3 to for MOBA right now here in the Philippines, there's a lot of misinformation about NFT and Axie and everything, or the crypto itself. Good thing or let's say to have a very effective way from transitioning the Web3 for MOBA is to have more information through social media using TikTok, using Facebook, even YouTube. So I think what we need right now is more information about crypto itself, the NFT itself, or the Web3 itself, or this upcoming MOBA games for our transition to Web3 for MOBA. I think the very essence right now, we what we need right now is to have more information out there using uh videos in Facebook and YouTube and TikTok. We need to have more information about it. We need to do more content about it actually, so that people can have information. I think that's the most lace right now that we have is the information.
Yeah, so stepping in here on this, I do believe Leo mentioned like what is like the impact of like esports, like Web3 MOBA on this, and being like a DAO that creates like esports integration for different games. We have done like an Axie tournament that got around like 14.8 million views, and that is like a turn-based card game of fish battling each other. Having more of a MOBA structure to esports Web3 on that end would be a lot 10 times more exciting than that. I do believe the most successful esports titles has always been MOBA. Dota 2, League of Legends has been the two of the biggest. And having like a Web3 MOBA would surely be able to succeed in the esports space. Esports for Web3 is not really just even retention and awareness on this side. It improves the economy of the token even further because people would want to invest even further to make their assets better on this end in order for them to win tournaments, in order for them to be prepared for tournaments, they need to buy multiple assets to counter several different other strategies on this side. So they need to be able to be prepared and improve their assets, improve their gameplay, and competition and rivalry is the main source of esports on this end, and that is like the basic driving factor for why you should play MOBA games. I've been like Ajax on this side. I've been playing Dota ever since I was like 12 years old on this end. Transitioned to League of Legends. I've always loved the concept of being able to outplay other people, being able to be better and tell other people that I'm better than them on this one. And yeah, I think Yas also touched on the points of esports for blockchain gaming. I do believe when it comes to esports, the biggest title that would prevail on that end would continuously be MOBA, and integrating blockchain to that is just making it 10 times better.
I think we got a couple of mentions of kind of really hard challenges with the adoption. So kind of before we kind of proceed forward, why do you think there's so much challenge? Inside the space, we always assume, that blockchain technology brings so many great things to games. There's ownership, there's kind of open economy, but why is there so much kind of challenge onboarding new players? And there's almost pushback. Like if we think to stories like Stalker and stuff, right? There's pushback from the traditional gaming community. Do you see the same thing happening within the MOBA genre? Or do you think MOBAs are going to be a little bit different? And what is the source of tension between traditional gamers and Web3 gamers?
Maybe I can take this. So I believe the bad rap that most NFT games got is sad to say, but I think this is true. Is inherited from most of the NFT projects out there, right? In terms of profile pictures, like BAYC and this big. There's a lot of pushback in terms of these projects when it comes to the amount, the valuation that they are at as compared to the utility that they give, right? The 400,000, 500, half a million to up to even a few million USD for a single profile picture. And this seems a concept that is too unintuitive to most of the traditional Web2 guys, right? And then when it comes to bringing this to the gaming industry, I think a lot of the hardcore gamers will find this. Hey, don't try and stain our industry. Make sure um, leave NFT aside. Don't mix it with this industry and don't stain it to and mix it with a lot of this bad rap in terms of money laundering and things like that, right? So I think if I'm not mistaken, like Riot, perhaps they were quite public in terms of their disapproval when it comes to NFT, right? I think this is what I think it is. But at the end of the day, right, if the game developers just keep your heads low, keep continue building and let the product speak for itself, right? If the game is fun to play, yeah, and the marketing is done right, and you attract the right crowd from the Web2 to hop over, right, and embrace this new technology, I feel that this could be the potential, the vision that I have for the NFT gaming space.
Yeah, I want to just add to that. So I think he's right about the NFTs. There's, so many NFT projects that came out. Some of them came out with some games, but some of the games are just absolutely terrible. And one challenge is a lot of companies don't actually focus on the Web2 guys, even though we're talking about just Web3, it's the Web2 guys don't really like crypto so much. A lot of them don't. Maybe in the Philippines, it's probably grown the most, but the rest of the world still hasn't really caught up yet. So I feel that, trying to find the right angle to market to the Web2 guys, and then try to convert them over to Web3 and in crypto, I think that would, be a really good plan of action. I think also that, like I said, the tokenomics weren't really thought out very, thoroughly. People obviously wanted to get into this space very quickly, so they did these tokenomics, and it was a really hot space when the market was extremely hot. Now we're kind of in a bear market, so the ones that are going to be succeeding are the ones that actually have tokenomics that will last, where they can probably, think about ways to maybe cap the total number of, in-game currency that they give, because having like an uncapped amount of tokens will just cause a token to keep on going down. And then what happens is those Moba players that were playing a game, they'll just move on to the next game until more tokens get unlocked, and that token gets dried out and falls to almost nothing. So the key is, in my opinion, is to find the best tokenomics to figure out, where that balance truly is. And then, I don't feel that the Web3 guys are marketing to the Web2 guys, and there's only so many, cryptocurrency users and players out there. So that's, I think, another challenge is trying to figure out how to market to those Web2 guys.
Yeah, I just wanna answer the last question that you had a while ago, Ilya. Like the onboarding process, I'd say and this, I guess, in addition to what Kazu, Ajax, and Charlo have mentioned a while ago, like that we need some more tutorials and content to onboard people or players, and because of other bad projects that was there along the time that other developers are trying to publish games. It was like kind of untimely. But I want to mention about the onboarding process. Like it's currently not user friendly for those not having background in in setting up wallets and don't know what cryptocurrencies are all about. So I think that's currently the problem that definitely need to be addressed as well. Maybe if someone, maybe a company, or I don't know, an organization can like create a tool, maybe something like Steam. I know that there are some projects actually already doing that. Like they want to develop something like of a Steam so that they can onboard or make it easy for the players to get into crypto and NFT games, or rather Web3 games. So I think that's what we're currently lacking as of the moment. That's maybe one of the reasons why we still haven't touched upon the Web2 gamers. And I myself, maybe even I didn't get to have the tutorial, like one-on-one tutorial from my friends before, and how to set up a wallet and what this crypto is all about. Then maybe I would care less. So I guess we have to make it a little bit more intuitive, to learn or to get to be onboarded into.
I agree with that actually. There should be a really user friendly guide for developing MOBA, and also in Web3. Right now in the Philippines, why is Mobile Legends and Call of Duty are usable to everybody else is because of the friendly guidelines, I think.
I'm curious, and I see that there's starting to be questions from the audience. I'm gonna hold from bringing up the audience for another 5 to 10 minutes. And so hold your questions in about 5 to 10 minutes. I'm gonna start calling from the audience. But I'm curious, when it comes to this user onboarding, do you see this as the responsibility of each individual game, or do you see it as the responsibility of the blockchain ecosystem or these individual like middle kind of platforms? Like, who do you think responsible for this?
Uh, yeah. It could be either. To be honest, it's just about like who gets the heads on into doing that. Tools right away for these users, for our players. But I do know that there are some projects already discreetly working on this kind of Steam like interface to help out in terms of onboarding projects.
I think it has to be the projects. That's the responsibility, and I think that a healthy in-game economy, especially since I know a lot of people in on the stage, mentioned the fact that tokenomics need to be worked out properly and stuff like that. Uh, Part of that process is to think ahead and realize what is needed for your tokenomics to work. And in my opinion, we had, well, I guess this isn't my opinion. We literally had Axie Infinity come out and say, we don't care about the Western audience. We're going to double down on the Asian market. And the Asian market comes with with an immensely huge player base, out of which most people tailor towards the seller's avatar, though. So the way I look at it is we have two customer avatars. We have a buyer's customer avatar and we have a seller's customer avatar. And these two persona need a perfect balance for a healthy and sustainable in-game economy in the Web3 space of any game for that matter. So if you want to onboard as many users as possible and double down on the Asian market, which is fine, you're most likely going to end up with exactly what happened to Axie Infinity. If you want to do the opposite, if you want to focus on traditional Web2 gamers from the Western side of the world, then you're probably going to end up with a very small player base, and people are going to have issues with matchmaking, and people won't be able to get into games and won't have anyone to play with. So I think it's finding the balance between these two things is what not only keeps the tokenomic infrastructure on a healthy scale, but also the viability for a game to be able to sustain itself long term.
So there's an interesting point there, right? You mentioned, looking ahead and thinking about what's going to be needed. So I'm curious, like how do you go about doing that, right? Because markets change, user base structure changes. There's a whole lot of external factors that come into play. How do you forecast something that's constantly in motion?
I think on. Go ahead. Yeah. Yes. I'll go. I'll let you answer that one.
Okay, well, I'll just go really quick. So I think that it's something, I'm not sure how familiar you are with these sort of analytics, but there is actually ways to sort of get a trajectory for these kind of things. But to not go too much into detail into what that would look like, I just think that if you have, or maybe to break it down in an easier manner, I think that obviously having uncapped tokens or token generation is ludicrous. I don't think anyone should do that unless it's a very different system as we've previously seen it in a couple of games. I think that another easy solution, which this is not a final solution, but something that contributes to the final solution, is moving away from rewarding players with a utility token and instead find other incentives that can reward players that are also tradable. For example, use NFTs. So moving away from that structure onto a different structure, I think helps. And then finding a use case for those NFTs to be used, like forging or upgrading, where you add another layer of burning mechanics to that system. I think that's something that people should look at more in depth. I think too many people just focused on copying, and I'm going to say that very bluntly because it's just a fact. Just copying existing models without realizing that they're doing like the same mistakes over and over again. And yeah, I think I'll hand it over to you, Philip.
Gotcha. Thank you so much. Yeah. So I think on my side, we can. It's really hard to predict like different things. It's really hard to see like market changes, different growth, different new models coming out on this end. And I think for like game developers, one of the main things that they can concentrate on is something they can control, which is gameplay. Going back to basics on this end, Mobile Legend has still like around a player base of 79 million daily active users right now, and that's for like a that's for a Web2 game wherein you cannot really own assets, you cannot really own your skins, you cannot really earn from playing those games, but it's really enjoyable to play for the Southeast Asia region and for the Asia region as well. So concentrating on like a MOBA title that is really enjoyable to play, that would allow you to play with your friends, compete with your friends, be able to climb rankings, be able to have like a really authentic gamer experience on that side. Being able to provide that to a gamer would allow them to appreciate more the game and have more of a concept of play and earn, concentrate on enjoying the game, and then what I earn will already be like a bonus on that side. Instead of the way Axie Infinity and like the way Axie Infinity was branded was like play to earn, wherein it's like a job. I get to be able to earn more than my daily job from play Axie Infinity. That's not really a gamer. That's a farmer on this end. Bringing back to basics and creating a gamer community, a gaming community that would be loyal to you is like the one of the most essential things, because they would be there through the height and lows of your tokens because they like the game. I think that's my main opinion on that one.
I think you're right, Philip, on that one. A lot of these ones that have come out, it's really about playing to earn. It is like a job, so they're not probably even liking the games that much. But one thing that I do think that would help is if there were certain features of the game where you made people hold tokens to unlock to achieve, future, things like new characters or new events or some that to participate in, so that the amount of dumping would be less when someone does earn a token. So the people that do want to play the game, that enjoy playing the game, will actually hold those tokens because they do want to participate in future things that are part of the game. So I think that could be a something that could be added to make the economics work better, so that there's not so much constant dumping. So and then adding more features in the marketplaces for people to purchase in the marketplace. These Web2 games, there's always like tons of skins and like all these new characters coming out, stuff to upgrade your characters. People who enjoy games want to do that because they want to show off. But a lot of these other games, like the characters all look exactly the same, even though they are NFTs. There's not really much of a difference between them.
By the way, if you're in the audience, you can start asking questions, and we'll be happy to bring you up on stage. I do want to pick on something Yaz said, not having infinite token supply. The economist in me just wants to play devil's advocate here. Having capped token supplies kind of almost inherently leads to deflation, and we've seen from traditional macroeconomics that there's a negative flip side to that as well. You know, are we starting to see game worlds evolve into full-fledged open economies, and should they then be managed like full-fledged open economies?
So what do you think? What would you say is the most obvious downside to having a finite token supply? Just so I know that we're kind of talking about the same thing, you know?
Right. So, you know, with deflation, right, it eventually decentivizes spending, right? That's the classic example of
Okay, so what
deflationary
if
economics, and I think, yep.
what if you were, let's say, have a deflationary, or well, not deflationary, but let's say a finite amount of token, but the amount of token required for a certain task or for a certain burn or whatever it may be is like vaguely pegged to a dollar amount. What about that? So it doesn't actually even matter if the value itself from that token goes up or down. People are going to be spending a more or less pegged amount.
I'm gonna leave it up to the rest of the speakers, but all I'm gonna say is I think it's a very brave proposition, having seen what happened to Terra and Luna, to try and peg something to the dollar without
Oh no,
having
because it's not. No. Maybe let me clarify that. So you're not pegging a. You're not putting out a dual token system where one being pegged to the US dollar. What I'm saying is, if token X, you know, let's just, you know, use a hypothetical scenario. Game X has token X, right? And you need, for example, if token X is worth $50, you need to spend one token X to upgrade your weapon, let's say. But since it's a deflationary system, token X may be worth $100 next month. And instead of paying one token of token X for that upgrade, because it doubled in value, you'll only be required to burn half a token X. Do you know what I mean? So it's not about pegging a token to a dollar. It's more about just having a arbitrary value.
It's
that's more or less, fixed to a dollar amount.
I want to open it up to the rest of the speakers before I kind of jump in with my thoughts.
Yeah, maybe I can offer my 2 cents. So I do agree with Yas that it's quite difficult to make economic decisions when the currency is fluctuating, right? And if you are speculating that it may appreciate, then it will encourage saving, right? Or the other way, if it's going to deflate, or if it's going if it's going to inflate, that means it's going to depreciate in value. You are going to encourage spending, right? So what is the correct balance here? So Yas did recommend it may not be a token that is pegged to stablecoin, maybe just outright stablecoin, you know, and use stablecoin as your main currency, to operate your marketplace. I think on one hand, I feel that this can it can give the investors or the users some confidence. You know, they can buy an NFT for $50 today and can wake up tomorrow knowing it's going to be the same value. I think that on one hand is the what do you call it, the stability and predictability of your economy, right? But on the other hand, right, if you do not have your tokens pegged to this stable coin or use stable coin themselves, right, then you may have to figure out some other way, you know, to give your tokens more utility, right? And that's also one of the deliberate decisions that League of Ancients use our own native token to have our NFT. What you call it? Our NFTs are derived from our native token. So this is the idea here.
Yeah, and also just maybe to quickly add to that, I'm not saying that that's a final solution. What I'm proposing is think outside of the box, move away from, your standard kind of Web3 tokenomics system where people just earn a token and it's doesn't even matter if it's finite or infinite, but from that standard model that we all kind of familiar with, like start exploring new things and come up with an innovative solution that you think is right, that you are convinced of can do better. And maybe that's going to be the solution that we all need, right? So that's kind of what I'm a big advocate for is, come up with something cool, come up with something with innovation, bring more innovation to the space, and try to help everyone, get to the next level instead of just, I hate to say it, but instead of just replicating something else and trying to make as much money as you can while there is a hype about something and then move on to the next thing.
Yeah, totally agree on that definitely need to come up with new ways to look at this space, right? I think the dual token mode, one is the governance token, the other is the utility token. It's been used by so many other projects, right? I think primarily because it is to protect the governance token, right? And you have a more inflationary token, the so-called utility token that is technically infinite in supply, right? I think let's not try to reinvent the wheel. In my perspective is that let's just look back at Bitcoin, right? It's limited in supply, and you just treat players as miners, right? If they believe that they know that the supply is limited, right? And if they are in what you call it, strong investors, they are strong backers of the project, then they will keep, right, knowing that it's deflationary, right? On the other hand, more on the short term time horizon, right? There are some other products or some other utility that you can spend your tokens on, right? And you may not think, oh, maybe I want to buy this skin or upgrade my weapon, right? And then I can use it. I think this is the most I wouldn't say it's the perfect solution, but I think it's the most it's the most practical one to date that will not encourage like a too inflationary token. Yeah, I think that's my humble opinion.
We have a couple of minutes before the end of the hour, and I wanted to kind of just go around really quickly and for every speaker to kind of share, just a bit about what they're most excited for the next 6 months. I always like to close with that, and see what everybody's looking to.
Gotcha.
If you don't mind me kicking that off really quick, because
Go ahead.
while we were having our conversation up to now, I was packing my stuff. I was actually at VCon this weekend, and I'm just packing up my stuff, and I just left the hotel to get to my flight. So I might be dipping here in a sec. So thanks for letting me go first. But I actually had a great conversation with Bryson. I'm not sure, but I assume that many of you are familiar with who Bryson is. He's one of the largest streamers in the Web3 space at the moment, and he was super big into Axie and stuff. And we sat down for a couple of hours this week and just talked about what the future of NFT and Web3 gaming is, and also just being here with you guys and listening to your opinions and your points of view and where you guys came from and your background and where you want things to go, and everything just fires me up. So I'm just really glad that we can be part of this journey, and really looking forward to connecting with all of you, no matter where it's going to go in the near or in the short term, in the near future, and just try to make this space as great of a experience for everyone who's going to join in the future as we can. And I think it's something that we can only achieve together. So that's why I was so keen on hopping onto the stage with you guys. And just wanted to say thanks again. And I'll be listening for another couple of minutes, but please don't be mad if you see me just disappear for no reason, okay? Because I'll be in the airport.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'll be seconding that on this one. Thank you, Yas, on that. For going first and take care on your flight. So yeah, I think I'm really excited to see a lot of competition inside blockchain gaming. I feel like esports would be rising by around Q3 and Q4 with the rise of different games coming out. with different games already establishing their PvP, establishing their footing inside the market. Now is like the time to like differentiate this different good games from each other, and I do believe esports has been always the key definition for that. From different MOBA titles, there's has been like tons of different MOBA titles out there, but the key success factor has always been like esports on this end. I really love esports on this side, and I do believe being able to like organize this like really good esports tournament has been one of our like greatest endeavors to be able to facilitate that true gamer engagement, that true competition, that rivalry instead of just having farmers play games. We want to really incorporate one of the core aspects of Web2 games and towards Web3. And I think if for especially for MOBA games, it's really exciting time to see each one of them launching and each and the existing ones creating their esports journeys towards blockchain. I think I would be seeing a lot of tournaments for Q3, Q4, and especially for Q1 2023. So yeah, that's what I'm excited about.
Thank you, Philip, for that. Yeah. As for me, I'm very excited. What I'm very excited for the next months, we'll definitely have to check out what the development, the progress of each of these upcoming mobile games, even the current ones, the upcoming patches that they will have, and hopefully I'll be able to shoutcast some of your games as well. This is really my domain. That's why I got into it as well. And also, not only that, well, that was for my esports identity perspective, but for the game dev perspective, or the game dev background that I have, I'm also keen to take a look at how these projects will actually work on the mechanics, on the challenges, on the gameplay and game design that they have in the game. How challenging will it be for the competitive players and for mainstream gamers? So yeah, that's it.
I'm excited about more on the side of how to advertise it in general audience, and at the same time, there will be more traction with Web3 from Moba, and I'm really excited how to tackle the challenges, how to advertise it in more on side of the general audience itself. It comes with platform like Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube itself. So I'm very very excited to get into this, to how to advertise it very well in the general audience.
I'm excited to see how the actual space, crypto and blockchain actually will move forward. It's kind of been reset again. Everyone expects it to be a little bit slow right now, but I think that it kind of gives a chance for new up and coming companies and also games that come out where they're not just solely focused on, making money, like just from issuing tokens, but actually coming out with solid plans to make better games. So excited to see some of the new games that come out. Plus, seeing how the market can expand into more countries rather than just the bulk of the gamers for these type of games in the Philippines and in Southeast Asia. We said earlier that it hasn't been really big in North America yet and Europe yet. So, and maybe even like in India where they have, 700 million gamers there. So, or some huge number. So I think it's exciting that there's still a lot of room for growth and it's still just the beginning. And I think, this kind of reset could be good for the industry where, those guys that were just trying to make money off their NFTs are probably not going to try to do that now, and like real gaming companies are going to come out with good products.
Ajax and Hanny, you can go next.
Yeah, I'm very exciting about like esport in the Web3 too, and I just want to share that like because like in order for a Web3 to like get like more and more users familiar with that, like we use like gaming as a content, and then like esport as a way to like in like as a way of like communication to make users to come and then engage, and then ultimately like convert them into becoming the players. So In order for that to pull it off, I just want to share that like all of the esport organizers out there should be aware of like transforming and then making all of that like esport experience becoming like a Web3 experience. Not like organizing like an external esport events. It's gonna be like just like traditional, and then if we just like trying to do like converting within the streaming, then it's very limited for the conversion like process. So yeah, and I'm also like very excited to see like the esport entities would be like incorporate like all of the Web3 and blockchain like experience onto it, to see like how it can help with like onboarding and like educating like Web2 users. For Theater Arena, like we specializing in Moba and PvP, and just like we will introducing like new casual games too, and then we're gonna make like esport and then tournaments around it too. So we also see that like, as a very good way to attract and engage with users. So hopefully like all of us will like find a way to optimize esport with like the Web3 experience.
Yeah, I do agree with Hani. So I think a lot of this what they call it, the ecosystem around a good game, right? I feel that all this in terms of esports, streaming, it will take care of itself when the fundamentals are there. If the game is good, if there are players coming in, right, and then all this, what I call a healthy gaming ecosystem, I think it will just sprout like mushrooms. There'll be streamers wanting to stream, there'll be people wanting to talk about the content, right, and then naturally there'll be people wanting to get really good at the game. They will be really competitive, and then that is the birth of the esports scenes, right? So as for me, what I'm excited about for the future of this space is that hopefully more games will come up, right? I think the more players coming is never a bad thing. More games, good, just continue building good games, attract the Web2 guys over, right? And when they see that the games here are good, and with the spirit of blockchain, decentralization, and NFT, where they get to own their assets, they get a part of the revenue of the game, right? And they have a say in the game developers' direction, right? And then that will totally revolutionize the gaming industry.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This is actually, we went a little bit over our normally scheduled time. I really appreciate all of the speakers, and thank you so much for all of the thoughts that you shared. Thank you, all of the listeners who tuned in for our chat. As I mentioned, the recording will be posted later, so look out for that. And please tune in next week for the next weekly Waypoint. We'll be talking about first-person shooters, so it'll be another exciting chat. Looking forward to seeing you all there. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Awesome. Bye bye.
Thank
Bye,
you,
Bye
guys.
everyone.
everyone.
Thank you. Take
Bye
care. Bye bye.
guys.
Take care, guys.